introduction. So, welcome to the video, guys. Welcome to the stream. We're here doing some purging today after a weekend in Budapest. Happy Father's Day, by the way, anyone. Happy Father's Day, any dads out there. I feel that they need their own little shout out. And I was going to give them a shout out today's video, but it's going to be published tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing a late Father's Day shout out as well. Bit embarrassing. But there's just been too much to do today. Just gone back from Budapest. Did a last minute trip. Yeah, the buffing will have worked itself out now, Barks. I was uploading a video while streaming. I thought my internet could handle this. It appears that it can't. So that's a lesson learnt there. Don't stream 1440 while uploading a 1440 video of a large file size. The video's looking pretty though, I'll tell you that. It's looking better. I'm finally getting the hang of the various settings, bit rates and various bits and bobs. So it's getting there. The quality is getting there. Running smoother now. Good, good. I'm very glad, my friend. It's not buffering at all. Yep, it shouldn't be, guys. It shouldn't be. All problem solved. All problem solved. Oh, a nice signum. And if we do get any more gear while we're here, that's all well and dandy, but we are just really here to try and purge stuff quickly. Yes, it would be quicker on the Assassin, but I kind of just fancy playing something a bit different. I'm quite just happy wrecking stuff with this happy chap. Very, very simple click and play. It's not particularly taxing with this build, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Boop, boop. One click, one click, one click, another click. And let's kill this guy from behind cover so we look tactical. There you go. Strategy at play there. Strategic combat confirmed. Oh, and we've got more enemies to kill.
Teleport beacon in range.
Now, is this going to take me somewhere to get some good loot? Let's find out. Or is this a shortcut?
Teleport beacon in range.
Oh, and oh, special loot. Right. What do we got here? Sorcerer? Nothing much to write home about. Right, time to get wrecked. Oh, maybe not. Let's try that again. That ranged bubble shield's actually quite the thorn in my balls, especially when you're a ranged build. And I really need to remember that this build does 75% extra damage when I'm at close range, so I really need to do that. Blair, how you doing? Bjorn, how you doing? Mark, how you doing? Okay, Mark's gone. See you, Mark. Jake, how's it going, man? Getting to what? Okay, nice, Jake. That's good, that's good. It's Sunday, you know, the Lord's Day of Rest, or the man's day of gaming. Bolter? Yeah, Bolter confirmed. We're going to be doing a Bolter build later. I'm loving this armour too. I really feel like a chaplain. And that is, on its own, totally awesome. So what are you guys thinking of the actual event? I mean, I will be honest, I'm a bit underwhelmed by it. It's less than what I'd hoped for, but it's better than nothing. I liked these community events they did in Dying Light. They sort of worked okay, but the trouble is the core gameplay's got to be really interesting for the community events to be interesting, and it's got a sort of... They worked for me in Dying Light because it made you do stuff that you wouldn't necessarily always do, like go out at night and kill all the volatiles. Also shout out to Dying Light 2 that's been confirmed, and God am I excited for that. So yeah, that is something that I'm a little sort of, meh, okay, we're essentially just grinding missions, and now I'm a little bit nervous of war zones. Okay, I was nervous of war zones anyway, because they're just going to be the same thing, I imagine. I really, really hope... Caius, look, go away. I really hope that there's going to be, with the season, a bit of a content drop and some refinements, quality of life changes, you know, some balance... Some bish bash bosh. I don't really know. Ouch. That was rude, to say the least. But I do respect that some changes are needed. Ow, that crit hit him like a Lehman Russ, you could say. Right, let's get out of this. We're not going to hang around long. Yeah, event's not great, but better than nothing. It's, yeah, Jake's agreeing, it's a little bit disappointing, a bit grindy. Yeah, I'm okay with the grindy nature of it, because I think what else are you going to do with an ARPG, unless they have a difficulty-based event where you've got to do something really hard, which I don't think really works, because you need it to appeal to everyone. No, okay, we've got about 50 kills there. Okay, so we need to do this a lot more times. Now, let's do... feck it, let's just keep going. So, yeah, a bit grindy. I think the problem is once the game gets more interesting, and if the game gets more interesting, the events will be more interesting. But right now, it does feel like we're missing a few ingredients. We've got this sort of lovely soup of a game, and it's got some really nice ingredients to it. Like, look at this little... Kaya, seriously, shut up. We've got this lovely little fire effect. We've got this barbed wire, and I love the graphics, the appearance. I love the narrative, and there's a lot of things in this game that I love. But at the same time, you do have to respect the fact that the people that seem to dislike this game the most are the ARPG players, which is strange because this is an ARPG. But I honestly feel like the people that are happiest with this game are actually the group of players that don't really like ARPGs, which is really weird. But that's my honest analysis of the current situation and Steam reviews and, you know, Steam situation, let's call it. 60-something%. And I think rightly so. I think rightly so. If you market a game to Diablo fans saying it's Diablo in space, when it's really not. It's really not. I mean, what that's done is you kind of need to be like... It's a bit like Diablo, but really different. That's kind of how I feel that it needed to be marketed. Like, okay, it's the same genre as Diablo, but we're trying to do a new take on it. You know, or we're trying to do a new type of ARPG. Heck, I even think calling it an ARPG in some senses has been dangerous, let's say, because it does so many things weirdly. In quite a likeable way, though. Well, if you like it. You don't have to like it, you might dislike it. I stick by my original statements where I've always said this game will be loved by some and hated by many. I don't know how much the quantities will be, but I do think the reviews will go up with time. Is this a salvo Crusader? This is sort of a crit Crusader. I'll do a little overview of the build. I won't go into too much detail. Reason being is because I've done a video on this build, and it would make my video redundant if I give you some spoilers now, but I tell you what, it's all crit based primarily, digital weapons, so I'm rocking 70% crit, which is lovely. And then I'm using the critical hit tree to get lots of kills with crits, and that's giving me a stacking damage bonus. So that's the general gist of this build. And I can keep spamming digital weapons via the +2 on the belt. I would be using the armor that allows you to consume your class resource to give you the digital weapon use. However, it doesn't work for me. So that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. Right, let's just shoot them all close range. That's a lot quicker. There we go. Oh, missed one. Boop. And I do like the turret spam. Sentry turrets are life. And so I am also getting wrecked. Okay, let's go out here. Let's call another one quickly. They're still just as painful. No, they're not. They're so much easier than they used to be, but they're still quite annoying. I do really like as well. I do that's going to kill me. I really like the heal on class skill usage for this character. I think that is immensely useful. Immensely useful. Just having the extra little heals every now and again, it really helps. How you doing, Dutch waifu, Lilandra? How's it going? Back from your holiday? I'm back from my holiday. Your holiday pictures looked amazing, I have to say. Mine aren't quite comparable, but Budapest does shape up quite nicely for pictures. Yeah, that's the thing. MSLV has got a good point there. Now, for some people, they'll say, oh, I played Diablo the other day and it felt so smooth and refined. And because some of the animations aren't really animations, you just sort of... I had a chat with someone who's not a developer but is a programmer, and he kind of explained to me that because some of them are so fast, you almost skip a few frames in the middle and do like this weird blurring effect that makes it look like it's really smooth and it makes the animations tie together really well. But really the actual quality of the animation isn't actually that amazing. They just use this trick to make it look really cool. And Martyr doesn't really want to do that. So a lot of people will look at Martyrs and think, oh, it's really slow. And I do agree that Martyr doesn't have the same visual appeal. Thank you very much for the follow, my friend. I think the problem is with Martyr is it doesn't play like candy. And that's how I would say Diablo 3 plays. Diablo 3 is like an arcade game. And when I say an arcade game, I mean like literally you're at the pier playing on a joystick type arcade game. It's got shiny things, it's got bright lights, it's got really sort of loud rewarding noises. It's like a fruit machine, you know? It's really just sort of play me, play me, play me. And if you love that and that's something that's really hooked you in, then I think Martyr's just doesn't deliver that. Not that it wants to, and not that it needs to, but heck. But what I'm trying to rant and waffle away at after just getting wrecked there is I do think that's why we've got these polar opposite views, which is some people love it and some people just hate it. You don't want raw candy. Yeah, no, you don't want candy. You want raw steak. Raw steak, I've tried steak tartare. I'm going to be honest with you. I would take medium rare any day of the week. I quite like rare. You just run the risk when you order rare that it might come out blue. Medium rare, worst case scenario, it will come out medium and it's not a waste. If you order it medium well done, chances are it will just come out well done because it included those words. The woes of steak. The first world problems of what steak do you order. That is very true, Callis. Some of the complaints are creative. Let's put it that way. However, I mean, some of the what's up, Jonas J-Flow? Some of the complaints are quite well founded in that they came to this game expecting a traditional ARPG, and the game has really changed direction so much, that I feel that those players, if they're disappointed in the game because they set their own expectations of what they wanted, oh my god, you know, that they may well disappoint themselves. Harmon, what's up? Doc Dewey, nice to see you. D, how's it going? I've made the game enjoyable. You know, a couple of people have said that. Do excuse me a second, guys. I'm going to load up Twitch because Twitch chat is not showing up on Restream. So if anyone in Twitch is talking right now, I deeply apologise. However, it says content not available on Twitch. Why does Restream hate this so much? It's one of those days, isn't it? Right, let's chuck this. Is there a list of builds anywhere, Tom? In our Discord, we're working on a build library. And I will be posting 119 viewers. Damn, guys. Mojo, how's it going? Let's crack on with this while I keep talking. Yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Mojo. The event is okay. It's okay. It's fine. There's a few builds on my Discord, but not many. I'm going to be trying to make 3 build videos a week. I didn't this week. Go away. Because I was in Budapest doing a really last minute holiday. And many of you are probably thinking, oh, you just went over to be paid by Neocore, you dirty shill. But no, when I went there for the press event a couple weeks ago, which was an event funded by Neocore. I've been completely transparent with that. I didn't actually get to see the city at all. I say that, I got to drink in the city a lot at night, but you don't really see a lot doing that, which was amazing fun. But I really wanted to go back and do some sightseeing, and so did the girlfriend, so we've just spent the last few nights in Budapest doing the local things, you know, trying the goulash, drinking and swimming in the Palinka, and I don't know, whatever other Hungarian things. Such a nice country, though. If anyone's not gone there, you just go there. Just go there. Anyway, back to the game. Oh, last thing about Budapest. Managed to get a couple of whiskies in with a couple of the staff members. A quick hello. But that was about it. They had a lot of work to do. Just like me.
Die, heretic!
Yeah, die. Oh, heavy bolters. Ruin my life. Be gone. Okay. The damage is coming out now. The sustain is here with this build. It's not the best, but like when you've got a little crowd like this, you can just spam that right click and watch your health go up. The single target 10% of your life back is really nice sustain, and you can use that as well to get your suppression back. Oh, I tell you what, guys, what we'll do is we'll go through this build briefly, because I am doing this in a video tomorrow, but this I think is a build you could use with any, now more or less any ranged weapon, because it just takes advantage of having a high crit chance, which pretty much any weapon benefits from. I mean, there's a few mechanics that benefit from a higher rate of fire. And as you can see, like the difficulty level that I'm doing, I'm not rinsing through it. Like, this isn't really easy. Like, the assassin at this level with the melee build would be just having a laugh with this sort of difficulty of content. Problem is, I do 75% more damage when I'm close, because it won't let me re-roll my relic bolter. And I really don't want that, because I don't want to be in mid-ranged as a ranged character. So if I change that, that would definitely improve the build a lot.
One less target to worry about. Keep going.
Good, Woodhome. I hope you enjoyed the deflection build. I hope that was useful for you. That was definitely, I think, super strong. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Super strong build at the moment, deflection based builds for both Assassin and for Crusader. It's just both the mechanic of deflect itself, just with the amount of mitigation it gives you, plus the amount of suppression that deflection can give you, which I feel is a little bit too much right now. And I'm not, I often get told I'm crying about problems being overpowered. It's just too strong. I'm sorry, but it made the game too easy when I built it. Ergo, it's too good in my view. You know, anything that suddenly makes... I mean, having said that, it's not a problem if there's loads and loads of different ways to make something super strong. I mean, then it's just a case of then buildcraft is in a good place, actually, and that's probably a good thing, but... I kind of feel like deflect builds are a little bit head and shoulders above the others because they're so tanky, they've got so much sustain. You can ignore the suppression mechanic. You can just play like an absolute potato and it just doesn't matter. And it's weird. It's really weird to me that we've got this suppression mechanic in the game, having made a video on it the other day, where the developers put this specific mechanic in to make the game slow down and to make you think about what you do, make you very cautious. And then all of a sudden you get to late game and there's a build available where you completely ignore it, just play like a potato. it's like, where? I've just spent the last 20 hours being cautious and now I can suddenly go back to being a potato again. Like, make your mind up. Either be potato or not. I mean, it's nice, though, because if players do want that sort of reckless game style, I really need to use these digi-weapons more often. Let's run up in their grill. There we go. That damage, though. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Thank you so much. And I don't know how I'm getting all of these Twitch views and follows, because apparently it's not even streaming. Is anyone watching this on Twitch at the moment that's within YouTube? Is that happening for anyone? Can anyone in YouTube at the moment just tell me if it's working? Because it says to me it's not, but I'm getting Twitch followers. I mean, maybe they're just following me randomly, but that would strike me as odd. You do play like potato, but you're strong. I mean, to be fair, if that's what you enjoy, then I kind of dig it, you know. I do dig it. If that's how you want to play, if you want to be a bruiser, then actually that combination is the combination for being a bruiser, because it gives you the sustain, which is pretty cool. And I think once this Warzone thing opens up, and once the developers get a handle on actually balancing the cooperative play, yeah, it's working in YouTube. I know it's working. Oh, sorry, I don't think I said that properly. Is it working in Twitch for anyone that's on YouTube? Because I can't get any messages on Twitch right now. It's really weird. Anyway, it is what it is right now. I can't change it. It's all gravy. Yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought there. Builds. I love builds. I love this build. It's not amazing, though. Bruisers? We were talking about something to do with bruisers, I think. Where are you going? There we go. Nice. I love the static nature of the range combat with this guy. I really do. I've gone off of the melee combat of this character a little bit. Something about it, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think it's the increased travel time where the channeled ability where you're walking forwards with the assassin on the Cathian sword for me just makes melee feel so much smoother because you're attacking and moving. And it just means that if someone's not in range where you've got loads of people around you, instead of going bash, walk, bash, walk, bash, walk, walk, bash, bash, walk, it's just swing, 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 and constant death. And I feel like that weapon's one ability, really, really helps. The Crusader, while you do have some dashes and you do have some other stuff, I don't think I like it as much because you do so much walking, but I do like the Crusader's range play, like a range tank build. It's a pretty cool thing. I am using a bolter, Horus. I am using a bolter, but this would work equally well on many different weapons, probably not a sword. In fact, I think it would actually be fine on a sword, although I've just completed the mission, so we'll briefly go through the build for you, although it is coming out in a video later today. Yeah, Mojo, it's going to be very, very close. Very, very close. I'm putting in my contribution here. Obi, I've not tried Arcblades in a long time. I used to play a lot of them. Way back when in the day. This was back in the day where if you held Arcblades for 8 seconds, I actually calculated this, and I think I was the person that got the bug report. Shout out to the Power Hammer here. Warfare, attribute point, nice. Got some bits and bobs. Oh, need to sell some stuff. And hello to my inventory. Oh yeah, does anyone need a mind reset? I don't. I have lots. It's because I've set up a Hydra charity. So when I need stuff, I ask a few people and everyone sends me all of their bits. I needed to for these build videos. Ugh, we're getting there slowly. Let's have a quick check of that Power Hammer while we're here. Here, that's okay. Shock to the target, 10% chance on here. I'm going to lie, that's rubbish. That's no good at all. Heavy bolter, that's what we need. Heavy bolter in my life. That's what we need right there. Oh, baby. Right, so we're going to get that rocking in a mo. And anything else weapon-wise that would work with this. This would also work just as well with a bolt pistol. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bash out some bolt pistols. There we go. Oh, looking good. They look a little orcish to me. Is anyone else getting a little bit of an orcish vibe? Is it just me? I think... I mean, they look wicked, but I've just got to recolour them briefly because... I'm sorry, but I'm not digging the appearance right now, so let's just sort that out briefly. Appearance, click. Right, and we're going to go for yellow. Oh, I do like this feature. It's a little bit ridiculous how... Right, so... that just does that bit. Okay, so what does this one do? Okay, so neither of them are particularly... Oh, I could be here a while. I could definitely be here a while. Let's turn the grime right the way up. Let's go for... Oh, like a wooden effect. A wooden one. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. A wooden bolt pistol. There you go. A nice... Oh, that looks terrible, but that'll do. Let's also see what it's like when we put some more shiny bits on it. So if we go for this one and then that one, it should make it... That's horrible. It's all pink. Where are all of these weird colours coming from? Like, why am I getting pink here? Sod it. Let's just go. Yeah. Yeah, I need to change the blend. That's right. Siege. Feck it, let's do Siege. Oh, I like this one, actually. This is good. I like this map. You're logging in if I want to take a look at your splendidness. I'm just going to bash through this solo at the moment, my friend. I'm just ramming through this. I really love this map, though. I'm glad finally it's actually in the game. Does anyone else get the impression that there's these sort of... yeah, my dude does look like a Chaplain Blair, and I love it. Life on hit with a whirlwind doesn't work. That's good to know. Melee Crusader or ranged Crusader? I would go with ranged any day of the week. I would go with that any day of the week. So I didn't talk about my build, did I? I am a terrible streamer. I am a terrible YouTuber. I'll go through it after this one, I promise. Pow pow. Not quite as much damage as... And I do need to change weapon effects. Okay, let's try some full auto. Ho, there we go. That's what we need to do. We just need to run up to them. I really still wish you would use 2 pistols while doing this. I know for the ability setup that it makes sense for this, but aesthetically I don't like it. It's sort of when you're firing 2 auto pistols, the way he holds one round to the side like that. Let's do a bit of that. Oh yeah, it's all about that move. It's all about that move. Okay, let's get this crit going on. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, get absolutely wrecked. Okay, and we only actually need... We only actually need to kill guardsmen in this, so that's something to consider. Right, that's what I was going to say. Does anyone else think that they've made these... I don't know, supposedly there's 10 different map types in the game, but does anyone else get the impression that they've only included half of them in the open world setting? And I'm wondering if maybe they've done that because they don't want everywhere to look like the Martyr, but to me it doesn't really make sense to only have some maps in the campaign. Because I think all of the best looking ones... Okay, this is the first time I've seen this. No, second time I've seen this. Aha! Daka, 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 daka. Oh, that's so glorious. So glorious. Get knocked back, but he gets up again. Okay, the suppression damage is kind of frustrating, isn't it? Ah, but it looks like my shock is being applied through the suppression for that character. That is a little bit odd.
Another foul war banner trampled.
So many of the same map. That's kind of my feeling at the moment in this game, is there's some really nice maps I like in the campaign, and I don't really feel like I see them often enough. Like, this map is cool. I would like to do this co-op with friends. I think this is a cool concept. It's a bit different. I'm wondering where... I mean, I don't like bringing up this quote, but Neocore did have a target of 45 different mission types, and I think they're currently on 8-ish. You know, they have a long way to go to get up to there. They had the target of 10 mission types, map types, and that they've kind of done, even though they've not included most of them with the open world. Although maybe it's a case of fixing a few bugs, or I don't know. Ho ho ho, so much jam. So much jam. Come on. Come on. Time to die. It's quite slow taking them down like this.
This fortified zone is
and I don't think the full auto mode is really worth it. Hang on. Oh, there's an alarm there. Sneaky. Right, let's grab this. Suppression damage bonus from Sentinels is pretty out of whack. They've had that issue for a while. It used to be the Ogryns that were completely out of tune. The Ogryn suppression damage on the shotgun ability used to be absolutely ridiculous. Oh, apparently I have to go this way. Okay, that's cool. For the Emperor! Well, there you go. We found a guardsman that sounds more enthusiastic about For the Emperor than the actual Klosterheim within the trailer. I hope you guys know the bit I'm talking about within the trailer where Klosterheim just goes, "For the Emperor," and charges in. It's like, come on, that was the voice line that you put in, clearly. That wasn't intended. Or they were like, okay, let's go for quite a calm, like, "For the Emperor." But it didn't really come across like that. It just came across a bit lazy. For the Emperor. For the Emperor, I guess. It didn't. That was a line that I saw you had a lot of YouTube comments on it, and rightly so, I think, and rightly so.
Now you'll pay, scum.
Take it like a man. Take it like a man is kind of kinky. Confirmed. Kinky guardsman confirmed. Let's summon a turret in there and let him do some of the work. Okay. I mean, considering this mission is not that difficult, it's sort of harder than it needs to be with this build. Although, I mean, I feel like this build would do quite a good job supporting a melee that was sort of horrendously tanky. And that's probably where I would suggest using something like this, because you've got insane AoE damage. Any guardsmen? No guardsmen there. No, that's not a guardsman, that's a turret. That's not a thing. Okay, but what we can do... Oh, wow. You actually can't hit... Wow. That accuracy, though. God, he's got some problems. Okay, and we're off. Let's see how many we've got. Meme has been taken out of the game. I think if anyone wasn't aware of that, the meme virus has been removed from the game. I believe it is no longer dropping, and that is intentional. I think it was actually unintentional that it dropped in the first place. And I think we were supposed to get one each. But, I mean, Jesus Christ, it was... Sorry, I mean, for the Emperor, it was balked. Oh, I didn't use my damn bolt gun. What we need to use is an auto rifle. There we go. We'll use that one, even though it's probably pants. Yeah, that'll do. This build should work with that. So, build-wise, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it with a bolt gun equipped, because it'll make more sense. To begin with, plus 25% range damage against targets within medium range. That's primarily because if I go on my inventory, I'm doing plus 50% damage to enemies within close range. So that is a nice start, 75% damage when close range, although I am struggling a little bit at the moment to stay in close range. 10% critical hit chance, this will make sense in a moment, but we're up to 35% here, which is pretty nice. Now I'm going for utility harness at the moment for the extra belt charges. I would absolutely love to go for Armory of Zeal, so I could just be spending focus and healing me thanks to one of the skill point investments to use these things. That would be awesome. However, it doesn't feckin' work for me, so instead I'm rocking this. I don't know if it's actually essential right now. I could probably go for a damage orientated one too. Something else I keep wondering is maybe switching over to this would probably be a little bit better, going a little bit more crit orientated. Only 5 seconds, but hey, every little counts. Means if you kill a small wave of creeps, it's going to be handy. Chasing up warfare here to get the extra critical hit chance and just the extra damage, really. Just damage, that's what we're chasing. Now we're going over to skills. What are we chasing here? We're getting every one-hit kill, which is actually just any kill with a single target weapon will give you 10% of your max HP, which is really nice because it works on 3 of your bolter abilities, just not the number 2 key. But you also have plus 5% critical hit chance with the first hit, meaning at the moment I've got 40%, and this is without the digital weapons. Got 2% critical hit here. These two probably could be put elsewhere, but one of the main things that this build works with is granting a stacking 10% damage bonus up to 100% for 10 seconds when a critical hit results in a kill. Because you're doing so many crits, because the crits are so big, it means the crits are going to, you're going to snowball a little bit. If you're not snowballing, it's going to slow down. This is a bit of a snowball, munching through easy difficulty. The other thing I've done to get more focus regen is go with this, Cold Blood. Critical hits giving you an extra focus point. This will be really nice with an auto gun, heavy bolter, something like that, just to get the extra damage in there. Also, extra health, always nice. That also synergizes well the healing we've got thus far. For every 10 health you gain 1 suppression point. So the healing we get from this, the healing we get from this as well, which is a very nice one. Every time you use your armor, you're going to get some healing. Also very nice, physical attacks. Now I've gone for this one, and some people would wonder why, because you'd look at a bolter rifle and you'd say to yourself, yeah, but the left click on a bolter rifle does vulnerability anyway, Hydra, so why are you doing this? Well, this means that I can actually do rapid fire on an enemy and stack up, given that I'm going to have 70% crit at least. Using the digital weapons, it means I can actually stack up some vulnerability really quickly. using this full auto, and then I can switch over to the left click, and then I can do a lot more damage very, very quickly. So that's a plan anyway, that's the theory. And this obviously will stack up very, very fast using something like an auto gun or a heavy bolter. Bolter is physical indeed. Indeed. Yeah, where would you start? I think, it is true, Callas, that Red Thirst at the moment doesn't seem to be working. I'm just going through the build on paper. I'm not going through what's actually working. A lot of the debuffs in this game, and I'll say this now, fucking half the debuffs and buffs and perks don't actually work. So a lot of these builds that I'm making may not work right now, but the way I see it, they're going to work in a week or two, like once they're fixed. So there's no point me doing all these sort of caveats here and there. I'm just going to make the build video, and then sooner or later it'll work. Or so I bloomin' hope. 20% damage reduction in cover and damage reduction by armor increase, just generic tankiness. But that's the whole build strategy. Absolutely right that without Red Thirst, this build is only a fraction of as good as it could be. But I do have a heavy bolter. And on that note, let's go use it. Someone called me Ash. I was thinking the other day, someone called me AH, and that really confused me quite a lot. And then I thought, Ash is a lot better as an abbreviation. I can get behind that. I mean, I think Hydra is only one more letter, or is it? No, it's 2 more letters. Sorry, I can't maths today. It's been a long day, to be fair. I was up at 4:30 in the morning, flying back from Budapest. Flying back, and I've got to go to bloody work tomorrow. Still, life's good, can't complain. La-da-dee. Okay, so this is the bolter. This is all very well and good, but this is the heavy bolter. And I love it. Much explodey, wow. I mean, it's not the most efficient thing in the world, but if you walk right the way up to someone, it doesn't actually take very long to murder them. The damage is really there. I would be half tempted to combine this with a personal teleporter, just to make your life a little bit easier, really, because it's not the quickest weapon in the world to clear stuff with. Let's be real here. Let's be real. It's the movement speed and all of that, and it gradually gets more accurate, but it does chunk. I feel like it chunks anyway. I mean, if we compare that to... Okay, let's clear this pack briefly with this. We'll just pop that. We'll pop that too. We'll take some cover. We'll use the armor pen ability just because there's a few at medium range here. Okay, took too much damage. I probably should have used the left click. Can I kill him before he gets to me? I think I can. Oh, what a pro. Okay, and I think we'll just let the turrets do this. There certainly is a little bit of an issue with the... if you don't use the shift key with this weapon. So if you don't use the shift key, you automatically reset after every single kill, which is really infuriating. You want to just go nuts, in which case you've got to hold shift, and then you just let rip. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's amazing. No, I really like it. I really, really like it. I do understand that it's got its limitations, but to me it feels situational, and that's okay. It does what it does. It doesn't do it amazingly well, but I like it. And I love the 2 ability too. I mean, if this is on a hard difficulty, heck, you can even get yourself 10% of your suppression back every time you knock someone back, which basically means that this is a suppression regen ability as well, which is crazy, provided you're doing it on a hard enough difficulty that you don't one-shot everything. But if you're having trouble actually hitting stuff at range, just use that ability, because boy oh boy, does it do a lot. A lot of damage at max range, and because it explodes automatically at max range, like I can... Oh, let's shoot those first. Like, its actual hit rate's quite reliable. There you go. I don't think one of those shots even missed him. But if you're trying to do this from over here, well, having said that, we're not having too much trouble. Except for that last one. No! There you go. Nearly touched me. Nearly touched me. But the rate in which you can apply those... you can just see the damage numbers going up there. We started off on 60, ended off on 90. And that's just the vulnerability coming in through the critical hits, which I really dig. The nice thing about this build is you could really swap it between quite a few different weapons. If you really wanted to go a heat weapon, you could just swap out for the heat tree from the physical tree, so you're only using one mind reset. It's just a very generic ranged build, but it works really well. It works really well. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The heavy bolter is not something that's going to excel at high power ratings. Maybe in group play a little bit if you've got someone that can tank for you. The trouble is there's no real reliable aggro mechanic on this, but for me, this weapon shines by applying a series of vulnerabilities very quickly, or by just destroying enemy suppression. That's sort of the other benefit of it as I see it. So sort of at that group there, you just watch them get tossed around. That on its own I think is pretty useful, but yeah, it's situational, and yeah, there's probably better weapons. I'll accept that. I'm not going to lie and say the heavy weapon is the most heavy bolt is the most overpowered weapon in the world. It's really not. But there are kind of moments where I feel that actually the damage it pumps out is unbelievable. The game had a colorblind mode. That's an interesting thought. I guess you could tweak monitor settings. I don't think that's quite the same thing, but... Do monitors have, like, colorblind modes? I know they've got the various brightness options as a default. I've not had a play around with my current monitor. There we go, 70% crit though, and the healing that comes from that as well is not too shabby. I mean, you're getting 1% for every 2 out of 3 hits. That's nuts. Yeah, absolutely, Horus, absolutely. But that's why you don't use the spread at range. Like, for the range those guys are now, you just use the 2 ability. So if I want to take down that guy at the back, I use an ability that's actually going to hit him. Same with this guy up here. If I want to shoot him, I just use that ability, and it hits. Now if I want to kill this guy, I pummel him at close range. If I'm shooting that guy over there now, because he's walking towards me, I think it's kind of worth it. But there you go. There you go. When you can reduce range spread as well, you could even get a psyker in your group to reduce the range spread by 50%, which is definitely a thing. And you can get a few item stats as well that also reduce it. Yeah, Lursige. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, my friend. I had a go. I had a try. You have hit on something, and here's the problem. Several months ago, and I'm still getting many comments on one of my, I'd say, semi-recent videos. Sorry, I'm getting comments on a video I did 6 months ago. Let's try. Oh my word! Look at that. That's not an auto gun. That's an anti-aircraft gun, Vincent. I've got to change that colour though. I'm not having that at all. Who goes for a baby blue gun? I really hope you can change that. Okay, maybe I can go for like a nice wooden effect. If I go non-blend, okay, that's one colour. Why can I not change the only one colour that I really want to change, which is the hideously ugly one? What the hell? How about if I change it to aha? Well, that looks a little bit cooler. And that does not. Who has baby blue guns? Anyway, let's turn the grime up. Get the gun looking a bit more dirty. Wear's still not working. That's good to see. Going to turn that down. I don't even know what that one's doing, and is that one doing anything either? Probably not. Okay, we'll apply that. Looking good. Looking good. That's looking like a... That's a bit Call of Duty-ish, I think. Oof, doesn't look like we're going to get 5,000 kills tonight, that's for sure. Silencer gun, bunker buster, silencer gun, snow map. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So let's go back to the range versus melee argument, balance-wise. So balance-wise, 4 or 5 months ago, melee was in a bad place because melee took a load more damage. It didn't have the means to mitigate it. It didn't have the means to regenerate it.
Right on top.
Please stop doing that, Ragnar. And it was in a bad place, and it didn't deal enough damage to kill enemies fast enough to really justify it. So the result was basically it was just no one wanted to be melee. It was just you couldn't do difficult content. And now they've probably gone a tiny bit too far the other way, but I think I would be very careful with taking it any further back. I would say there's a couple of melee mechanics that need a bit of a nerf. That's my honest opinion anyway. I feel like the suppression and health regen possibilities are maybe a tiny bit OP, but I would go so far as just giving ranged a tiny bit of a flat damage increase. I just feel like some of the mechanics that the melee have got, some of the cross interactions between perks are just a little bit too bloody good. Not... Take, for example, the Deflect build for the Crusader. Like, it is just a series of really sort of big numbers being added together. Like, the amount of Deflect you get, 70% just from a couple of talents and some other bits and bobs. Ugh. How did I stop the transmission? You click the little X in the corner, my friend. Because, well, sometimes she just talks too much. And you're trying to purge.
I must stop this emperor.
Okay, let's do some close range Daka. Oh, glorious. Oh, 1 hit point left. How obnoxious is that? Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun, I'll give you that. Oh, wait, that's far too enjoyable. That is far too enjoyable. Daka, 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 Daka. I mean, the sound is ridiculous, but hey, it's totally worth. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. It's good though, it's good. I mean, it sounds less like a toy gun than, you know, it used to, so I'm happy with the improvement. Mean Virus was OP as fuck. Ugh, my friend, that's what I've been saying. I just don't think anything should allow you to level that quickly. It's... like, my leveling experience was just a breeze because of that. Oh, I did the thing and I didn't interrupt it. This is ridiculous. What an obnoxiously fun build. Auto gun life. I need to rock out the auto pistols actually. I haven't used them in ages. And they are cool. Right. Now. Yes, we can do this one. Nice. Yeah, there's something quite enjoyable about the auto gun. Off you go, lady. I'm sorry, I'm busy. Last one. Off we trot. That's true. That's true. Mean Virus is broken, but then so again, I would go so far as saying the current XP rate for co-op in general is bad to the point where, and I am going to be making a video about this, but I'm really not very happy with this, and I'm not.
An alarm signal, really?
I don't like sounding overly entitled, but I personally am not particularly satisfied with the state of co-op right now. And that's not even because of the whole, what do you call it? The whole, is it working or not situation, which more often than not it's not. It's the whole how much XP you get. It's just not worth playing co-op. And the problem is they've marketed this game as having a sandbox element, and the trouble is, unless you do what they're telling you to do, it actually feels quite linear, because if you don't do the story, you have a really painful leveling experience as a group. And it just, for me, that makes no sense. I just don't understand Ursa telling me to use some cover. Well, I should, shouldn't I, really? I should. I know that there was a difficulty problem with the old, with co-op. There was a difficulty problem, and I think that has been fixed in a bug fix, so I think it's a bit better now. Heat damage, crit chance, that's all right, I guess. Could be better. We're not getting this done tonight, sod that. But we'll have a good bash. We'll try some other weapons, perhaps. Lasgun, we could rock with that, I guess. Let's bring out the lasgun. And let's use a mind reset. And let's reset our physical tree and see if this actually works. So we'll reset that. And we'll go over to... Oh, I've not unlocked the heat attacks. What a complete feckin' scrub. So now I won't apply the vulnerabilities. Oh, I'm so bad. Right, okay. Well, with that being said, I'm going to stick with physical, because if you don't have that heat thing unlocked, then it's still doable, but I'd rather not. Right. Any other... Oh, quick check here. Nope, don't need one of those. I've got way too many. Auto pistol. Let's see if we can craft a couple of auto pistols briefly. Nope, we don't. Let's try and find a recipe for an auto pistol. Auto gun. No, never mind. Right, let's go back to... should we just go do another one with the auto gun? I feel like it needs a bit more love. Yeah, I know, Cefax. There is definitely still an issue with... Ah, nice. Got this map. There definitely is still a bit of an issue with co-op and in terms of matchmaking and all of that stuff. It's a problem. It's a problem. The health modifier's not where it should be. But for me, the problem is the XP. It's just... I don't even think it's a co-op problem. I think it's the open world XP is far too low. And again, I'm just going back to this whole... They call it a sandbox, but... It's really not, because you level at like 1/4 of the speed by doing anything other than single player. So actually that's really quite linear. Yeah, you can level up by doing other things, but it's so slow that it's just frustrating. Ooh, I love this map. I really do like this map. It's so pretty. I got to 4K Fate via some rather unhygienic means. I was actually... It's complicated, but not via official ways, and not by cheating. I kind of had to ask for some items so I could do a build video from the developers. So just full transparency. Like some people will be like, "Oh, Hydra's a hacker. Or he plays this all day." I really don't play this that much, and that's my problem. Is right now I'm struggling to level up characters even, so this character was actually copied and pasted for me. I just don't have time to level up all three of them. So, because whenever I play, I'm generally streaming, so that's basically why this character has no achievements done and stuff like that. It's just a showbot for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not getting any super secret hacks or anything like that, and this character is just literally used to stream and showcase. I am leveling up one on my own on the side, but that's a job for another time. Yeah, I think the maps actually are one of the better elements of the game. I think the maps need a little bit of love, but I know many people that feel like the maps are just not what they wanted at all, which really confuses me. And that was just a terrible idea. I also used my inoculator that takes away 30% of my health. But it gives me a nice damage buff. Not that useful, apparently, when it kills you. No, you're not doing anything wrong with Fate, my friend. It's just, I'm just dirty. Basically, I'm dirty. Why do I get all of these messages whenever I stream? It's confusing. Right, off we go. Okay. Why is there diminishing returns with the Fate cost? A lot of people are curious about that, and we've never actually had a straight answer from the developers yet as to why that is. My guess is it's some sort of protection mechanic to protect you from, or prevention mechanic rather.
For the Emperor!
I don't seem to be getting health back on single target kills with this. Ah, I do with that ability. Be gone. Back, beasts. Okay, let's do some single target dagger in her face. There we go. There we go. Oh, the knockbacks. It started. The obnoxious knockbacks. Right, off we go, off we go, off we go. I don't know the answer to that, my friend. I really don't know. There is a cost that increases over time, and if you do too many turrets, yes, the cost goes up. My guess is just... I don't know. I don't know. My hunch, anyway, is that it's some attempt to prevent something abusive, but I don't really know what it's doing and why. That's the honest truth. But you can definitely farm and level up gear-wise too quickly in this. And I know that's sort of a bit ridiculous of me to say, having been given 4,000 fate to help me speed level a character quickly. But farming relics on my assassin, which I did for a week without any input from anywhere, did not take long at all. It did not take long to get full relic gear, and then it didn't take very long after that to get particularly good relic gear. I mean, yeah, you could be min-maxing probably for a few weeks, but the problem is there's no reason to actually bother min-maxing at the moment because, well, leaderboards aren't really a test of challenge capacity because the Cathedral doesn't even really work. I think after you get to a certain point, Cathedral just breaks. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't even think I can participate in some events with this character because he's not actually done the story. So it's rather confusing, but my assassin's my homegrown one that I did through stream and leveled all myself, so she's my one true love at the moment. Very much feeling the assassin, but I will be honest, I do still have a soft spot for the Crusader. There's definitely some love for the Crusader. Right, let's use that. And I would definitely recommend with this build going for... I mean, look at those crits, that's ridiculous. I would definitely recommend going with critical hit on your inoculator because you can get a 20-second buff that is pretty lengthy. And the extra 5% does make a difference. Oh, I've still got 3 turrets down, so I can't put any more. That sucks. Right. Get some more of these. Where's my suppression? Why aren't you coming back? Okay, let's get some suppression back. By hugging the wall. There we go. Psyker for life. I think Psyker is a very lovable class. It's... My issue with Psyker right now, I guess this is like the other classes, is it needs some balancing work so that there's more than like 3 or 4 abilities that everyone is using. It's just, every time I play Psyker, I end up using the same abilities and spamming them. I could be proved to be wrong on this because the Psyker does have potential for a lot of versatility. At the moment, though, I actually feel because of the balance state that he's actually got less variety than the other classes. That's just my view, and I did play the Psyker, and you have to appreciate that I played him for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I've played all of the Psyker... I've played all of the classes for a hell of a long time, and thus I'm a little bit of a pessimist towards some of the things where other people that are new to the game probably wouldn't really give a damn. But I'm certainly a little bit burnt out of some of the Psyker builds. I would go so far as saying that. Shotgun, I guess we can try using that with this build. It should, in theory, work, even though it's... Yeah, feck it, let's just have a go. Should be alright. Yep. Hemorrhage is fine. Hemorrhage is fine, and there's a good one that kills enemies instantly when they have no suppression, which works well when you synergize it with a team or a squad that have high suppression damage because it can do ridiculous amounts. I think it's called Strangle, but when an enemy has no suppression or red suppression, it does ridiculous burst damage, but you have to have a party orientated around it, but that is amazing.
Yes.
We've done some... Oh, nerve gas? Did I spawn in nerve gas? Off you go, bye. Yes, that's a very, very underrated ability. What a cool map.
Die, heretic.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, well, this is quite easy. Is there gas everywhere on this map? No, not everywhere, it seems. Just the majority of places.
For the Emperor.
Okay, let's bish bash bosh. Oh, it's so glorious. Oh, it's not glorious. Run away. No, I need some long range. I need some long range. I'm actually being shot by a turret as well, which is pretty derpy of me. I'll just go around here and let the guardsmen do some tanking.
Maggots, die. Onwards. Don't linger, guardsmen.
Can I hit that from there? There we go. There we go. Everyone's sending me the friend requests too in game. Thank you. I've got a lot of friend requests, I think. A lot of Cabal invites too. That reminds me, I think we've actually unlocked some more Cabal spaces. So that's all very exciting. By the way, if we've got any of the old Discord mods in here, I don't know if you're still around, Doc Dewey, if you wouldn't mind spamming that old Hydra Discord, because the Hydra Discord is a lovely place to be. It's a good place with a good bunch. Lots of views, lots of opinions about the game, lots of people willing to help each other. We've got 4 Cabals rocking at the moment. Use the Exodus. Well, I would, my friend, but I'm kind of the wrong profession to be using an Exodus right now. I mean, I could play a little bit of assassin gameplay. Let's do some Toon-Key. One weapon that I really feel needs a little bit of love, and I think I will be able to get it into a build eventually, is the plasma cannon. But right now, I really struggle to make something with that gun. It just... Okay, let's go a little closer here. A Rogue Primaris. You are not that impressive. And we haven't been using Artillery Strike,
At your command.
which is a very underwhelming ability, seeing as you don't actually see the... Oh no, it did explode properly that time. Fair enough. I think you can just use it on an unlimited amount as well. Yep, there we go. Pop. Use one over there.
Recoil, unclean.
Pop. Do one there. Another one here. Some sound effects for it would definitely be nice. Ah, I see. My mistake. I would recommend the Exodus rifle, though. The Exodus, for me, has lots of build potential, which is why I really like it as a weapon. Because it's got 2 bleeds on it as well, I think it gives opportunity to have some pretty janky builds. You could definitely go into a crit-based build with it. You could go into just a heavy CC-based build. You could have all of your stuns applying slows and shocks and stuns. It's one of those, when you raise the difficulty up, I think the weapon's still very good. But the fact that it's got a bleed on it, and the fact that it's got a stun which can apply a shock, and it's just got lots of bits and bobs going on. Really like it. You could definitely make a sniper build out of it, where you just use the aimed shot ability, and when you kill something with an aimed shot, it resets the cooldown. That's definitely a thing. Oh, good lord. Okay. Okay. Let's, off you go, Imperial Guard. Time to do your job. Time to be my meat shield. Okay, while he's busy doing that, I'll take out all of these. Just the speed in which that does AoE, it is handy. Okay, the left click may not be the best ability in the world, but let's try a right click spam and see how much it does after a while. Is that out of range? It's not a huge amount of damage, is it? It's not huge.
A fine sacrifice for the Emperor.
Maybe a little bit of balancing work required. Is it the only weapon that has a bleed on it? That is a good question. Although I think, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but you can make any physical weapon apply a bleed via a critical hit with the assassin. So I'm pretty sure that's within the physical tree. So in theory, I think you have lots of potential. Ah, there we go.
You serve the Emperor well.
I still don't like that. I still don't like that. Making you want to play a Crusader? Yeah. The trouble is they only add about 5 at a time at the Mojo. They're slowly. I mean, you kind of think with a game's launch, it would be nice if it was finished. But hey, yeah, it does still seem that there are certain sound effects that are either not being triggered or... How's it going, Charles, by the way? Nice to see you. Yeah, Skill Planner, I've actually got a couple of Cabal members that are working on it. It's nothing to do with me, they're just people that happen to be in my Cabal, so I deserve no credit whatsoever for their hard works. They really just need all the credit. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'll ask them though, because the game really needs it. Oh my word, it needs it. So Shotgun, I just wasn't a fan of. For how close you've got to go, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. What else could we go with perk-wise? So we've got... This one I feel could change, and let's change this one too. What else do I have access to that's critical hit based? Okay, so once they've got a debuff, which is a vulnerability would count as a debuff, that would give us some extra critical hit chance and strength, so that's actually not too bad. And that would give us more as well, but... Okay, what else can we do here? Anything else crit related? Okay, no. No, I mean, I like the idea of that, but... And crit supply and vulnerability I've already got. I kind of like the look of that one. I mean, it's okay for the heavy bolter, I guess. If you stand still for 10 seconds, you get 50% damage, but it's a lot of standing still. Oh, Warzone rank. Ah. Attaining higher ranks will unlock new skills and bonuses. Active only in Warzone missions. Right. Okay. That's weird that it's only active. So I guess they're like global skills. So it will be like you can summon... I don't know, maybe you can summon a really cool big ally or something. That would be sweet. Have I spec'd into retaliation in the crit tree? I think I have. I'm not 100%, but I think I have. I have a feeling I actually skipped out the one where when my suppression gets low, I get extra crit. And I'm actually feeling now that I probably should have. And I actually think if I shut him up for a second, I could probably spec into the damage getting converted into suppression and making myself immune to stuns, shocks and knockbacks and things like that, and actually make a build designed to be low suppression. That sounds pretty janky to me, but I actually think that could probably work, because that one ability would give you 10% crit as a passive. And there's some other nice bonuses you get when you're on low suppression, so that's definitely an idea. That's something to think about, but we'll need some CC immunity to make that work. But I think it could work. I don't know how well. I don't know how well, but 10% crit is not bad for one skill point. Yeah, it's true that low suppression does usually mean low health. However, if you spec into the ability that takes off 25% of your suppression instead of health when you take damage, your suppression goes down super fast. Really, really fast. That, I think, could probably be used, and then you could just purposely not spec into the health tree that gives you suppression based on healing. And that could probably synergize fairly well. Maybe not. Maybe it would be absolutely terrible. But I know you can get slow and shock immunity. I don't think there's actually knockdown immunity in the game, so that might be something to think about. But there's definitely a few bonuses in the health tree you can get. This is a job for me. This is a job for tomorrow. This is a bit too much thinking than I was prepared to do right now, he says as he just stops paying attention like a lemon. Good lord. Yeah, no more meme viruses, my friend. I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Low suppression, low health, Crusader. Nice. So what do you use for your CC reduction there, BNH? What do you use? Do you have any knockdown immunity with that build, or do you just put up with the knockdowns and just take it like a man, as the guardsmen say?
This fortified zone is finally ours. Blessed.
Yep, thanks, Caius. I would quite like an actual option to turn the portraits off and just have it as a tiny little speaker. Although it's nice, actually having seen it that many times, I don't really want to see it again. You know, I know what their face looks like, and every single time it comes up, I want to close it. Someone please remind me to request that of the developers and see if enough people agree with me. I mean, what do you guys think? Now you know, if you didn't, how to close the window. Are you going to be closing the portraits, or do you leave them there? I feel like they're a bit of a pain. I mean, they're not the worst thing in the world, but when you're in combat, they take up a massive space. I already feel like this UI over here is a little bit... And that's a fucking quarter of my real estate there, just on UI. Yeah, close them all the time. Close them all the time. Okay, guys. Okay, I know only 2 people have replied to me, but that's enough for me to think that we're onto something here. If straight away a couple of people say, yeah, I always turn that off, that is a quality of life change we need, where it's hide NPC portraits. Maybe not during campaign, maybe have it as open world only, but I quite like the voice lines. I would be happy just hiding portraits, but maybe they could just include an option to hide both. Yeah, yep. Yeah, okay, I think we're all in agreement here, guys. I think we've everyone hates the portraits. Yeah, I would go so far as saying I would be quite... I wouldn't really miss it if they just got rid of them. However, I can kind of see why they're there. But I just feel like they could be done in a better way. It's so big and intrusive. It just takes up too much real estate, you know? I've already requested that this can be taken away, because once I've seen that once, I don't actually want to see it again. I don't need that information once more, you know. I've got the information on the mini-map. I can press M for that. I don't need all of this, like that modifier, once I've seen it. And heck, I can even see it when I go into the mission. I don't need to see it afterwards. But sadly, it was one of my requests that didn't make it through, so there you go. Hydra is not in charge of the game, confirmed. Hydra does not always get what he asks for, although I did get a cool little teleport sound when I teleport out afterwards, which I'm sure I am the only person that asked for. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I think it was a bloody good change. It's a tiny little thing, but it used to just be instant black screen when you exited, and it was for me really janky. It just sort of didn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, Casfacto does have a point that it is true that the pictures help you know who is who, and yeah, that's certainly a thing. But I think the option to hide them, like for someone that's played this for 500 hours, you know who is who. You know, you really don't need the pictures to still be there. And the campaign should really show you who is who, because it introduces them. So by then I kind of feel like you just don't need them anymore outside of the campaign. Right, time to die. Bowers, bash, bish. More crits, please.
Repent.
There we go.
The enemies of the Imperium failed miserably.
Yes. Plasma cannon. Event reward is disappointing. Well, it is an emote. It is an emote, isn't it, my friend? I'll be honest. I'm not finishing this. There is no way I am finishing this. I've got up to this, and I'm blitzing through. Like, could I have done it this weekend? Yeah, definitely. But I like the fact there's the community goal, though. That's cool. I like that. I almost feel, though, that I'd kind of prefer it if it was entirely a community goal. Although I do think there should be a minimum participation requirement to get the benefit. That would be my preference anyway. I mean, we probably could bash through it fairly quickly. The thing is, guys, I'm probably only going to be streaming for another half an hour here. and I'm not thinking I have any chance of getting it done in that, even with a group. So I thank you kindly for the offer, but I am actually resigned to the concept that it's not going to happen for me today. I guess the thing is, if they had a really big reward, a lot of people that didn't really want to do it would complain. That I guess they kind of want it to be that little sweet spot where it's a bit of a reward and hardcore players will chase it, but not enough that people feel like they have to sit there and grind. So I think I kind of sympathise with where they're going with the quality of the reward. But yeah, it's a weird place. Okay, I like the idea of the community events.
War banner trampled into the ground. Keep pushing. Don't lose.
And I do really like the fact that they pushed out a little book, which I think ties in with some stuff going on at the Mo. I haven't read it yet. That's a job for you know, a bit of toilet reading this week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I actually quite enjoyed the last books they did, the free books. And if there's more books coming out alongside the season, these little sort of short story novellas, I actually really enjoyed them, and I think that adds a lot to the game. For me, after I read those books, I enjoyed the game more, and it's weird. It's a weird concept. I just read a book that was talking about the sector and a little bit of, you know, an inquisitorial stuff going on. But as soon as I read that, just everything about the game just felt a little bit more 40k. It just, yeah, it just worked for me. Shout out to the Dark Heresy group. We had a stressful Dark Heresy session today. I failed. Now, if you're not familiar with Dark Heresy, I had to roll a fear check today because I saw a big demon. Okay, I saw a big Nurgle demon, and in Dark Heresy, it's not like this game. That is a scary thing. So I had to roll under a 25 in order to shake out of my frozen state of crying on the spot because I was so scared of a demon. I failed that 15 times in a row. I had a 25% chance of passing every single time, and I failed it 15 times in a row. And 2 of my team members died, but I just snapped out of it in time and lived. So it was all worthwhile. Crazy though. Sometimes the dice just do not work in your favour. Bish, bash, bosh. And you know what I'm actually I'd quite like to do is to get some Stormwatchers. I know they're not actually a miniature range, but I'd really like to. I might, next time I see Victor, have a little chat with him and see if he's actually allowed to give out some more information on the Stormwatchers, because I'd like to see if, like, you know, obviously we're not going to get a codex for them or anything silly, but just a bit of background information as to, you know, what unit rosters they typically go with, what their usual kits and loadouts are, that sort of thing. You know, all sorts.
Die unclean.
There we go. Get that crit up. I need to use this actual critical hit chance more often. I really am not using the digital weapons. I need to be spamming that off of cooldown. But even for the difficulty of this, it's going fairly well. Although I do have some guardsmen helping me.
Kill the heretic.
Ugh. Be gone. Definitely helping me because they're sponging a load of hits at the Mo. Nice. Fire. We'll kill the ones around the edge first. And then... Oh, nice. Wow, that died in like 3 hits. That was impressive. Yes. Yeah, I mean, anything with a chapter that begins in Storm sounds pretty cool. And I will freely admit here, I am not a Space Marine player. And I am one of those people that every single time I see a forum post that says that what this game needs is Astartes, every time that happens, like, I lose a couple of brain cells because it just upsets me that Astartes are like they are the poster boy of 40k. I get that. I just don't like them. But I like the idea of a cool unknown chapter that works alongside the Inquisition. I mean, to be honest, I think if I read more about the various chapters, I probably would like them more. Oh, I'll tell you what we could use. We could use a grav pistol. Let's have a little bash. Oh, Aetherwalker, we'll take that. We'll take that. What else have we got here? Grenade launcher, that's not particularly good. We won't use that. Let's just bish. Let's see what we can actually make here. Right, well, first up, we can't make anything purple because that'll take forever. Range pistol. Bolter Inferno, nope. Grav, we've not got any grav weapons. That is a shame. Right, let's have a quick cheeky peek. Cheeky peek here, nothing useful there. Grenade launcher, no, I'm not going to use a grenade launcher with this because I think that would actually be crud. Anything else? No, okay, all crap. Let's just see how the Cabal's doing. How are we? Oh, we've collected those, we've done that, we're nearly leveled up. Nice. Nice. Oh, that reminds me, I need to promote someone. Let's promote... We need someone else that can accept leaders. Milamba. He was... Oh, promote. Congratulations, Milamba. And Lilandra, the 2 Dutch lords. There you go. 2 Dutch lords of the Cabal. Grey Knights. The Grey Knight request is the other thing that every time I see the request, I get it that people love Grey Knights, but I just don't see them as being really belonging in this game because it's a game about Inquisitors, and like seeing as I'm playing Dark Heresy and stuff like that, the Inquisitorial and the Astartes universes, yeah, they cross over and you requisition one, but I don't know. I just feel like it would be a bit of a kick in the balls if they felt like they had to put Space Marines in this to make it sell. I'm like, can't you just be happy playing a Crusader? He's just like a short Astartes, you know? I know it's not the same thing, and I've just triggered a load of Astartes fans, but you know, it's not that different. It's just you want to play a character that's sort of 60% bigger than all of the others. I don't hate Grey Knights. I don't think they're that cool. I think they're cool, don't get me wrong. But like, if I could choose another 3 classes, I still wouldn't put Grey Knights in any of those, because for me they're not Inquisitors. And I mean, it's kind of, I guess where I've just bought into the pitch of what they've sold maybe a bit too much. But you know, this is a game where you're playing as the Inquisition, not necessarily units requisitioned by the Inquisition. So I would really hope that if there is more, that I think a tech priest I think would be quite high up on my list of things I'd like to see. I don't think an Arbite is needed because the Crusader does a similar combat role. I think a Stormtrooper is a potential. I think now I can't say this right, a Hierophant, a Hierophant, one of those sort of doctory ones, even a Sage, maybe, or a Heretic, that could be an option. Heretic, I said, Heretic. I think that could be an option too. For me, all of those would really suit this game. Just given like the pool of characters they've chosen thus far, I feel like the others would fit right in. Dreadnought, yeah, definitely. Just skip all those classes and make me a Dreadnought. Absolutely. Pow, pow, pow. Nice. Pretty easy.
With all defenders slain, raise the Imperial banner high. Onward.
Close that out. Need an Imperial General that sends out Guardsmen. I mean, I don't actually think we're ever going to see a pet class in this game, because I kind of know that pet classes are not easy to make. And here's a little bit of insight. Although Neocore's previous game had a pet in it, when I was chatting with them, they did actually say, and they told me this, and I thought it was really interesting, and they made her a ghost as a design choice. Because by having her as a ghost, she could move through walls, and it solved so many AI problems. And making AI, it's like the reason everyone hates escort quests is because AI just break. So I think a pet class would be quite a problem for them. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying it's probably not likely, because I see a lot of potential problems with a pet class that just wouldn't be present with others. And even though they made a pet class in a previous game, I don't think they ever actually made an AI system that was sort of actually proper pet class based. That makes sense. And yeah, Katarina was absolutely wicked. Absolutely wicked. She was amazing. Absolutely. I think anyone that doesn't have a little bit of crush on her, I'd question, where they're at, because the banter was on point too. I loved it. I loved it. There's one line in this game actually that I've really liked. I've really, really liked it, and I'll mention it. It's when your Klosterheim is. I don't want to say that. That's a bit of a spoiler. You're talking to a chaos person, and he's trying to lure you into something, and you both agree that you would have both killed each other anyway. And then it's just a really good line. I'm not going to ruin it. That's the most I'm going to say. But if anyone's played through the campaign, did anyone else get tickled by that moment? Was it just me? Probably just me. I get impressed by simple things sometimes. Okay. Recoil unclean. I haven't had issue with that thus far. Most of my voice line issues are with Ragnar. I will be honest. Most of my voice line issues are with Ragnar. She's so cold. She's so cold, and yet I feel like the voice lines aren't that cold. I just feel like she toned it down a bit too much. Okay, what if the bones of people who want to shoot the movie gameplay and you better requisition Grey Knights and play him like you do Shadow Sword? I mean, technically, Jan, you are true that we do requisition a Shadow Sword, but I feel like requisitioning a vehicle makes a bit of sense when you play as one. But requisitioning a individual on an ARPG for me is a bit of a stretch, because the whole thing is, you've made someone, you've customized them. I think the only thing that would happen if they did implement that is that then they would pretty much have to make a Grey Knight class. I feel like that would just be what would happen next. The moment you can play as one for 5 minutes, there'll be a flood of Steam comments being like, yo, this needs to be permanent. And then it will be eventually. I don't know. Yes. That is a very good one, Asvar. Initiating empathy glands. Attempt failed. That was very good. That was a very good line. What I find interesting too is a lot of people don't like the story in the game. And I kind of feel, 5 chapters in the story at the moment. Only 5 chapters. I mean, here's the thing. Diablo's story. Let's go back to that. I mean, I know it's Diablo and people get triggered when you compare it to Diablo, but let's just think of what happened. Like, something falls out the sky, you go investigate something in the sky, turns out to be an angel, there's some stuff and you find a girl, and then you go over it, but it turns out to be a daughter of a demon, and blah blah, heaven, hell goes to war with each other. It's pretty quick to play through. First playthroughs are a bit slower, or used to be in the vanilla game, but I don't think that actually had much of a story going for it at first. Definitely are some games that have a lot more, But I think what you've got to factor in is that, like, you can have a long story if it's low budget. Like, look at Grim Dawn, because there's not a lot of voice acting and it's not, you know, there's not a lot of special whiz bangs and pops put into it. It's all just, here's a load of text. I think it's quite possible to really drag it out, but I think to have that much of a voice acted campaign for Martyr, I'm happy with what there is personally. Of course, I'd like it to be longer, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. If it was twice the length it is now, that would be amazing. But we do have story to look forward to outside of that. So the actual, the next sector, the investigations in the next areas. I mean, I don't know how much in the way of cutscenes and narrative there will be, but I really hope there is a fair bit. This map's pretty cool too. I like it. Okay, if you do all the white missions, I'm not. I think there's the very good question. D3 had a story? Question mark. I believe it did. So people tell me anyway. So people tell me. D3 is one of those games where I've played through so much, and yet I have no idea what the story really is, as you could probably tell. Largely because whenever I played it, I was so focused on either doing more damage than my allies or just collecting loot that I didn't really give a crap on the story. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Skiptis. I mean, I think there's a lot of knowledge bombs dropped. Like, for me, the moment that I found out there were nulls in the game, and I'm not going to try and put in too many spoilers here, but the moment that sort of bit hit, when you found out what Uther was up to, I was like, oh, damn. This has got, you know, this has got a lot of the inquisitorial bits and bobs that I need. You know, you go over, you touch your cogitators, and you do your bits and bobs. And for me, the game does have the vibe. It's got the vibe. For others, not so much, which is interesting. I also think slightly, maybe a bit of the problem, is in the delivery system, because not everyone likes this delivery system of campaign. Like, if you don't sit here and listen to the dialogue, you miss out. You miss out on a lot. And the story, supposedly, there is a lot in the text as well that really adds to it. I will admit, I've probably only read half of the text. Some of those letters that were within the game I need to go back and read over. Sorry, Victor, if you're listening. It was a time thing. I was streaming. It was late. But I do think that there's probably quite a few people that have been skipping the in-game dialogue because they didn't want to listen or pay attention, and then they feel like the story's not very, you know, not very good. In which case, I feel like it's kind of entirely self-inflicted. But some people have definitely come at this wanting an RPG story rather than an ARPG story. But I mean, could the story be better? Yes. And I would go so far as saying the ending, in terms of the delivery, was bad. Not the actual what was written. I think what was written was fine, but I feel like a CGI cutscene was missing from the end of this game. Or there's one moment where the girl comes out from nowhere, again with no sound effects, does something, again with no sound effects, and then the thing you're fighting does something. I'm trying not to spoil it for people that have not completed it yet, but that moment, if you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about, was pretty rubbish. Let's face it, for an end game boss battle. Yo, see ya, Bjorn, how's it? You take care, my friend. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you again. But yes, there's moments like that I feel like, ugh, that needed a bit of work. Bit of cringe, but still better than some. Okay. Yeah, flawed. I mean, I can kind of get that, because what they've done is something that has pretty big implications for the 40k lore. But I mean, this is an ARPG. Like, ARPGs are not tales about everyday life of an Inquisitor. It is you know, you are the son of a god, or ARPGs are always, you know, you play a hero. You don't play a average Inquisitor, you play the dog's fucking bollocks. You play the man. Someone so awesome and so totally wicked that, you know, all of that stuff and more. And the story kind of has to go with that, I think. You can't have an ARPG story that's like, you know, and you found a bad guy and smushed him, you know? It's just... I mean, yeah, there could have been stuff with less implications. What they went for was pretty big. But at the end of the day, Games Workshop agreed to it, and they would not agree to it if they weren't happy with it. But I like the fact that it's a really epic tale, because it is like, oh, damn. Well, you know me, Charles. I'm a highly descriptive individual. Very, very well articulated. Not particularly. I've never been a word wizard. I've never been a word wizard at all. I wish I was. I wish I was. I can waffle about the game, thankfully, which helps. There we go, there we go. But it took a lot of practice. It took a lot of waffling practice to get to the point. Yes, that's a very good summary, Blaughton, of the ending. Plop, plop, plop. No! End screen credits. Yeah, that summarises it well. I mean, again, the story was fine. It just needed that big crescendo. You know, it was a really big moment. Really big moment. But it wasn't a big moment in the game. It was like, oh, okay. And what do I do now? Oh, I've completed it. Okay, fine. And let me just not get started on the boss battle that I CC'd. I chain stunned fucking giant boss, the Nemesis. Excuse me a second. I was half hiccup and half sort of surprising yawn there, but I genuinely am still shocked that there's no diminishing return feature. I don't know how many of you watched the suppression rant video I did the other day, but for me, that's something that should have been dealt with such a long time ago. Let's get the bolt pistol out. That'll cheer me up. Oh, am I missing a bolt pistol? Ah, thank the... Praise the Emperor. Oh, when did my eye implant get downgraded? What's happened here? Has someone logged in and pinched me good eye implant? Oh, maybe. Well, I tell you what, I know I've got one. Mailbox, not the back, no. I thought I had one here. There we go. Yoink. Someone posted me one because they saw I needed it. So what do we got? Focus. Okay, fairly useful. Deflected attack has a chance to stun the attacker. Well, it's not ideal, but it'll do. Maybe we could re-roll it a little bit. Modify. Let's do that. So focus, let's re-roll that. Melee damage. Also rubbish. Also not what I want. That's going to get expensive. Aha! There we go. Something useful. Single target skills, 9%, that's good. Salvo, fairly good, I guess. Increased knockdown duration, that's got potential use. There's some pretty cool ones. Range damage, screw it, that'll do. That'll do, let's do another one. I think, Blaughton, that's hopefully the... let's not do the ice map again, or that one. I want to do the city map again. Oh, I've run out. I'd like to see the forthcoming investigations in the next area when the Dark Eldra and the Night Lords and all that come out. I'd like to see them be like the investigations we had, but a bit longer for the previous. So I really hope they have a continual string of story available.
The enemy is here. Pray.
And what would be really great, I think, is if someone could pick up this game in a year's time and have 20, 30, feck it, let's say 50 investigations to play through. Story-based ones, you know, with little cutscenes and little bits and bobs. I think that's something that would help the game a lot. It would help make up for a lot of shortcomings, but for me, I think that the main to-do list for the game, And there's more than this, and I'd be really curious to see what you guys think is sort of the current to-do list. But the main stuff would be sort suppression out, because for me it ruins the combat. I really would go so far as saying that. I think it prevents the game from being as strategic as it should be by turning CC into something that's laughable. So sort suppression out, top priority for me. Number 2, get those nice looking maps actually in the game so you can play them in the open world missions. So that's another one. Good lord, get rolled. So that's another one. What else have we got? Balance. Balance is probably the next. Oh no, I tell you what, number 1 could maybe even be make some of the skills work. But you know what, I would actually say suppression first, then make your damn skills work so we can actually have some different builds. Get the map sorted so we've got all of these different maps available to us on these various areas. That is a Sentinel, my friend. Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum or whatever they're calling themselves these days. Yeah, it's a walker, that's for sure. But it's not Mechanicus. Oh. Yeah, it's more side missions, so the skill tree actually works. Yeah, I tell you what, when I loaded up the campaign after there was a couple of changes and there was a random box that you had to go over and defend for a few waves, I was like, oh wow, they've really introduced something that this game's needed for a long, long time. And then I played through the game and I've not found any others. I was so disappointed because I actually thought they'd gone ahead and nailed it, you know, with these side objectives and things like that. And the game needs that so badly. It's actually been my thing for a long, long time. And where are the chests? Where are the random fecking relic chests that haven't been combined? We were told they'd been combined with the old mission types. Oh no, they fecking haven't. They don't exist anymore. But yeah, oh wow, you're getting a bit stuck there, mate. Boo, boo, boo. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, damn, that damage is nuts. Summon one of those. Damage is real. Okay. Let's just see how much we can do here. That is good, good damage. Nice. Get rid of you. We definitely need to talk to them about hiding panels. That would definitely be a nice quality of life feature. Yes, definitely, definitely. This was a video I made a long time ago saying that the maps weren't random in sense of exploration, because whenever you went down on a map, let's say we're fighting against some Imperial Guard, some Rebel Guard, you know that they're Guard before you go on the map. Heck, you even know the layout of the map before you go down on the map. And I actually really liked it where you had to walk around and explore maps for a little bit. For me, it made it much more enjoyable. When there was this fog of war and you didn't know what you were going to find, I felt like that was actually what an ARPG needs. So there's a sense of exploration, and then what you need is random things that make you react to them, and it could be anything. It could be those random defend things, it could be those little chests every now and again that you've got to try and defend. I don't know, it could be a random DPS check mechanic. I don't really care what it is at the end of the day, it just needs stuff to make it more bloody interesting, because right now it's just this big soup of grey experience where it's highly monotonous, very repetitive. I still enjoy it, I'm not trying to just sit here and slate the game, but I feel like the side mission thing was something else that should have been dealt with a long time ago, because it's just something so pivotal. And Van Helsing did it quite well. Take care, Lilandra. You look after yourself, girl. Hope you are enjoying Dutchland now you're back again. So yeah, that's something I really feel that the game still needs. Yes. I don't know, Jan, but I do get the impression that the randomizer is not doing what the randomizer's meant to be doing, and maybe it's just not been high priority yet. I'm not sure. But right now, it really doesn't feel like there even is a randomizer. I'd go so far as I'm playing the same 5 or 6 maps again and again. And I don't even mean biomes. I mean actually the same 5 or 6 maps again and again. I mean, I don't think they're identical, but I mean, if we look at that shape and we look at that, okay, they're different. That's a bit different. Okay, fine, they're all different shapes, but I'm sure some of the others weren't. Anyway, what do we got here? Oh, feck it, let's just go. You have actually met a singular random side mission where you had to defend a psycho while she was closing a warp gate next to her. Yeah, that sounds really fun. I'd love to do something like that. I'd love some side missions. But for me, that is something that's so sorely needed. Yeah, even though, Blatton, even though like just leveling my assassin in the open world and farming gear, I'm playing the same 3 maps. Not biomes, like I have been doing the same 3 maps for a while. I'm sure their generator's not working currently. I've had this problem before several times where it's just loading the same map again and again and again. And it's a weird sort of, I don't know, I think it's just some coding problems their side, but I don't know. I don't know. I tell you what, this character's skill overview will be coming in a video tomorrow morning. I was going to do it today, but I'll do it tomorrow morning now. Talking through this character's build. It's not amazing, but it works. It could be better, but it's playable. And I think the nice thing about this build is it works on pretty much any build. Oh, that is just amazing. It would definitely work a lot better if some of the crit bonuses worked as well. Because there are a few abilities right now that aren't working that are in this build. And I've made the video on the assumption that they will be working soon. So I really hope that they fix their shit. But let's face it, there's a long list of things to do on this. I feel like enemy abilities is something that probably the IP has hampered them a little bit with. This game doesn't feel like it's got as many things to dodge and duck and dip and dive and dodge as some others. And I think that kind of hurts it a little bit sometimes. Combat's just quite simple, you know, it's sort of point click. The cover system should give you you know, some complexity. Oh, hello. I didn't see him there. But it doesn't really. It doesn't. It's not a bad feature. I know many don't like it. But it's not adequate for a replacement of the blue and yellow enemies from Diablo or Path of Exile, which have a random set of abilities out of a giant pool, and those guys really allow you to have a feeling like you're playing an ever-increasing challenge that's slowly becoming more complex, and it's just a really good system. That it just works so well, but I have a feeling that the 40k IP doesn't suit having a Nurgle demon with a pool of 20 different abilities that it can pull abilities from. You know, it doesn't really make sense. But, oh man, it is just a sort of like a staple of ARPGs. Let's kill some scrubs. Oh, it's so beautiful. Bye. Okay.
On the chest.
Any mention of regular patching every few weeks? Ah!
Back to the abyss, creature.
I got a thing. I did a side mission.
So heavily protected.
Ta-da! I did a thing, guys. I think that actually counts as a side mission too. Oh, and I missed the teleporter back there. Rip. I have to go all the way over here now. Oh no, or did I? I'm going to go back just to make sure. Yeah, that's true, Woodhome, but when you say lore correct, I mean, the game doesn't want to represent that. And I chatted with the staff about this. The thing is they wanted to make an ARPG and they did not think it would be possible to make a good ARPG that was, let's say, to scale with the books. And by to scale with the books, I mean damage-wise, you know, where one Astartes can kill 300 Imperial Guard, etc. They just did not want to do that portrayal of the game. And they did know that they were bending the rules, because this was obviously something that came up in conversations, and many people will say, Hydra, stop defending them, but I actually just simply agree with this choice that you want big enemies, small enemies, medium enemies, very medium enemies. You need a big pool of enemies, I think, anyway, in an ARPG for it to fit in with a traditional template. Obviously, it's not a traditional game, but it's sort of, the aim is to encompass as much 40k as possible. But of course, it does have to, you know, ignore what the actual limitations of the books are. But I think for me, that's okay. Obviously, for some people, it's not okay. It's confusing. But heck, I've ranted about this in enough videos, to be fair. I don't want to bore you guys with the same spiel again, but you know my stance on this. Games, books, and tabletop, I think all are different portrayals of the same IP. I do not see lore as being any one in particular. I think lore is not necessarily a set of rules as to who is capable of what. I think lore is the actual background and the words, the terminologies, the procedures, combat capabilities. I'm happy with those being changed personally. Obviously, some will disagree with that, which is fine. I'm just happy with it being bent around in order to fit into game templates. Take, for example, Eternal Crusade, where, you know, you've got orcs and you've got elder and you've got... Okay, they're slightly different balanced, and yes, the game's not great, but they have to all be in a similar ballpark to make an FPS work. It's confusing, but anywho. Ding 50, congratulations.
Kill confirmed. Target offline.
And I know there's quite a few calls for, well, why don't you have a retinue system? Then it would be able to, you know, justify the combat capabilities a little bit more. But then it's really a squad-based shooter, I think. And I just don't think, to be honest, Neocore had the kit ready to make a squad-based, you know, ARPG. I don't think they're... I think if you want to make a squad-based game, make an XCOM, you know, don't make an ARPG squad-based. I know Diablo had some companions, but they're really not, I think, core to the game. I know they can be, but I don't know. It's all complicated. The problem with adding random abilities, I think, is because, like, every enemy has the same pool of abilities within most ARPGs, so all elites can have, like, electric attacks, lightning attacks, thunderstorms, I don't know, random teleports, and any one of the mobs can pretty much gather abilities from that. And then the problem is how do you justify, like, a Nurgle demon summoning lightning, you know, or... I definitely think that there probably are more abilities that the enemies could have, and that's something I've tried to sort of push for over the last year or so, that there's just not enough to dodge. I like the fact now that the enemies are using some abilities, like you can see the plasma weapons actually charge up, but it's not quite enough yet to really work. Not enough to make the combat feel like it's particularly, I don't know, engaging. It's getting there. That being said, it has launched, and it's still only getting there in terms of combat, but hopefully the narrative will keep it going for a while and the combat will have a bit of time. That's just the one thing I cross my fingers for. The one thing I do hope will keep it hanging on in there, because I do think the game's going to have a little bit of a rough time. especially now it's on mixed reviews. Like it is quite hard. Oh dear, oh dear. I think it will be quite hard for them to make a really good recovery from this. Yeah, that's true. That's very true, Flawed. 40k lore is wildly inconsistent and... oh my god, did I actually spawn back here? You are fucking kidding me. So which one of those teleporters will bring me down to there? Oh, let's go find out. Man, this is sucky. Right, off we go. Going for a little bit of walk then. Yeah, I tell you what, Urza, I do think that is needed. Definitely, if all of the features that they set out to make on the roadmap were in this game, I think it would definitely have more going for it. Like one of the things that made Van Helsing quite popular was the tower defense mode of all things, which makes no sense in an ARPG, and yet Neocore did it, and it was quite good. It was good, so good in fact that they made a different game out of it, Death Trap. And despite having problems with bugs and such, it was popular. And I feel like if this had the fortress system, if it had made it into the game, it would definitely be in a better place right now. There would be happier people, without a doubt. Unfortunately, it seems that there was just many things that they wanted to put in that they haven't had time to do. I think just... Well, in truth, I don't actually know what was the major time sink for them on this project. If it was, I don't know, getting the animations done, getting the classes in line, I don't really know. Oh my word. Okay, so I've skipped the super secret island, but in truth I really can't be bothered to walk all the way over there. Do they fix a lot of stuff? You're looking at about one patch every week. Well, since launch there's been more, obviously, because when games launch... Week 1 there were 3 patches, and... I mean, it depends what you're asking for. Do you mean hot fixes or patches? Because patch-wise, this game has quite a lot coming out in terms of content. I don't know how many more weeks we're looking at for the first season to drop. We don't have a specific date at the moment. A little shout out to the console crew, though, because those guys are going to be having the game launch pretty soon. Inoculator unlocked. Ta-da! There you go. There you go. One last recap on the build, guys, because I know you guys will be curious. Even though we're rocking a bolt pistol, the build is made for a bolt gun, but it can be used with an auto gun, a bolt pistol. It could be used with a heavy bolter. It could be used with pretty much any physical weapon, although I'd probably go rapid fire. Now, in terms of what the build is doing, if I just get my weapon equipped there again, we're going with critical, critical, critical right now. Loads of critical hits. So each kill giving you critical hit chance and strength lasts 5 seconds. More critical hit chance, 10%, and even more when they've got a debuff. Debuffs are applied very, very quickly with the left click ability of this that will do a vulnerability. Now you see we're rocking a mighty 35% critical hit. And we're going to be, going over to skills. Well, we get a fair bit of crit rocking up in here, which is nice. We're getting a little bit of focus regen here, and we're getting a little bit of focus regen here. And those are going to be used eventually when it frickin' works to get this working. So we can spam digital weapons every single time it's up. That way, even if we're pushing a high difficulty mission, we can still use this and it will be very, very handy. We're chasing warfare here just to get the extra 5% critical hit bonus. Up over here, we're going for the extra life regen on single hit kills, which I think is really good. The 5% critical hit chance on first hit on an enemy. Debuffs, we're going for 3, 6, 9, 12. Sorry, I know I'm going through this quite quick. 3, 6, 9, 12. Shield piercing or armor breaking damage or armor piercing damage, which is basically the left click and the one ability of the bolt gun. If I were an assassin, I'd probably put the points here, which means for every you debuff, you would be doing extra critical hit strength. But basically, we've got a load of critical hit, also a little bit more there, and also going for this one up here, which is very, very handy. Physical attacks applying a stacking damage debuff to an enemy, but also the extra vulnerabilities on critical hits, which is nice because even if I want to do my regular attack on a bolt gun, I can still do the extra vulnerabilities via the via the full auto. So what I can do is stack up vulnerability very, very quick with my 70%, nice and fast with this. 0.3 for the cooldown there versus 0.6. So it's basically fires twice as fast, so I get those stacks up nice and quick. And even more so if you have cooldown reduction on either one of these two. I'm actually only got 20% damage for single shot. Ideally, what I'd probably rock is 20% damage, 20% cooldown, although the 12 critical hit strength is nice too. But yeah, that's pretty much the build in a nutshell. Just rocking critical hit, really. Extra little thing down here, for every 10 hit points healed, the character regains 1 suppression point. And that reminds me, what we need to do is we need to have a little look if we go over to the crit tree here. I don't have retaliation at the moment, because I didn't feel like my suppression would go down that often. I do actually think it's probably quite good, and I might even be tempted to make a critical hit build based on low suppression by putting that point in here, and going into the defense tree and chasing this, which will basically reduce my suppression all the time, which would be ridiculous. But then you can also get slow shuck stong and free. It's not knockback immune though. Where can you get knockback immune? I don't think you actually can. We might have to have a look into that. But that might be an option because, okay, yeah, you would get knocked down a fair bit, but you definitely do some good range damage. Stuff to think about, guys. I hope you've had a great day. I hope you've enjoyed yourself here with me. I'm going to get uploading my video now so we can bash through that tomorrow. But I actually need to get to bed because I got up at 4 o'clock this morning to get a flight back home. I've only just got back home today and I am absolutely shattered. And I just want to go to bed. So guys, it's been really fun. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been magical. I'm going to upload the video of this too once it's processed. YouTube does take about 24 hours to process this video, these streams. So I'm going to upload it later so you guys will be able to watch the replay if you've missed anything. Yeah, it's been great having you here. Massive shout out to you all. Massive shout out to the patrons too. I've got far too many of them and it's lovely to have them all. Sure, the perk will work with digital weapons. It states it works with grenades and mines and not shields and force fields. Supposedly it was working with the teleport mechanic of it was working with personal teleporter. So I need to look into that, mines, because some people have told me that it works, but it's a very good point. And if that one doesn't work, mines, what I would go for instead, and what I have been rocking today, is just going for this instead, which is an extra 2 charges, and supply crates will give you +1, which means supply crates give you 3 charges, which for me is actually, this one on its own makes quite a difference. If you're going on a fairly long mission, this can actually make a bit of difference. But I think it's not actually the end of the world if you don't. I don't think it's the end of the world. Just make sure with this build as well, you're getting in some inoculators that are going to actually be buffing your critical hit damage and your critical hit. Like that is not a good setup right now.
I need an update on the space.
Okay, that's where I am in the campaign right now. So we've got this here. Oh my word, they are not looking good. So you probably want to go for, there you go, you probably want to go for the Frenzens, which is going to give you an extra critical hit chance and strength. Only for 5 seconds? No. No. You want the one that applies for longer. Somewhere here, there's one, I swear, that applies critical hit lasting longer, critical hit chance, and bonus for 20 seconds. There you go. So I'd probably go for 2 of those and some extra bits and bobs just to make it last a little bit longer. Critical hit chance 10%, critical hit strength by 40. Definitely, I'd be rocking that as well in the background, which will help you bring up from... We bring this up one more time, 35% up to 40 because of the single hit ability, which will be up to 50 with the inoculator, which you should be able to keep up all the time. 60, 70, 80 with digital weapons. So much. Guys, it's been magical. I've really got to go. You take care. It's been fun. Take care.